Alright, there's the bearing, and it is not wearing properly. It's got a groove cut through the center of it that you catch it with your nail. It's got 3 different layers of material where it's not wearing across the bearing right. And you can actually see the 3 different discolorations where it's not sitting inside the race properly. It's thick here, thinner there, and then it's got even more gray color in the center. And now looking even more, I can see how this is actually worn in 4 different spots inside that race. It's got an outer it's not terrible, but it also doesn't look like, I guess I'll give the company the option to put it back together and recommend that I at least put a new race and reset pinion depth and everything. Turning torque, go through all that and see what they want to do. I mean, it will probably be fine, but it's going to make some noise. That bearing is not, it's not a good bearing. It's not wearing properly. And with it having that groove cut through it and you can feel it, it depends on how long they plan on keeping this truck. I mean, it's all scored up. Let's get the back cover off of it and look at that. And then if you look at the wear pattern here, I mean, it's kind of normal, but it's deep. You almost feel like there's a step in the ring gear to pinion wear pattern where it's normally it's a nice color when you can kind of see like a little bit of an outline, but this is so deep you can feel a little bit of an edge starting where the pinion gear has been meshing with the ring gear and really wearing on it hard, like something's really been driving it in. And it has 2 different colors to it as well where it's been wearing. And then the spider gears, they have no symmetrical wear at all. Some of the faces are completely gone and pitted, like there's tons of pitting and there's no material left. And then some of them are, some of them, the edges are completely wore out and there's no material left, and there's really deep grooves back here that you can rub and you can feel. I've never seen wear like pitting wear. There's like so much pitting on these spider gears. So there's like dots and holes and stuff all over inside this, all the way around. I mean, it's gonna make noise. It's a work truck. It's not terrible. I mean, the wear is bad. Oh, that's got like 3 or 4 different colors to it as well, and some really heavy pitting on the actual pinion gear where it meshes. It's not terrible though. I'll have to give them the option. I could tell them like, look, it's gonna make a little noise. I could put the seal and everything back together and it's a work truck and get you back on the road and run this thing, or I can go through it. It's up to you. So this is the one the other day where people were like, oh, you don't know what you're doing, that rear end's not wore out, by me actually talking about how the wrong edge of this tire is wore out. If you were to say lack of rotation, I could see that. You would see that as the truck moves down the road, the lead edge would be wore out, not the trailing edge. But it's the opposite way here. The lead edge is high and the trailing edge is low, which means it's a weight distribution problem. It's not a rotation problem. I'm sure rotation has something to do with it, but this truck has been loaded up so much where the back end is squatted, and they're really working this thing to where most of the weight is being put on the wrong spot of the tire and it can't actually grab the road properly. And people were telling me, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, that's just an axle seal, just replace it. And then you get into it and you see, wow, there's like little bits of metal, there's like little flakes of metal in the oil. You can't really pick it up on camera too much, but there's like little sparkles that you see in the oil, which some of that I know is going to be normal. And then you can see all the little chips and shavings of metal in the like grease where a lot of the face has been wearing off, all the pitting and stuff. I mean, you can't deny this is not even wearing properly. It's just the wear is all over the place. And this face here is completely gone. Where this still has a lot of that outer layer material, the protective coating and stuff, where it's really starting to eat into these, and they're pitted all over the place. Some of them have really big holes and stuff in them. In the face here, there's a couple big holes. Not holes, but like deep pits. I knew something was going to be wrong with this truck because I know this truck, and that's why I spoke in that video and I talked about pertaining to customers and knowing the type of work they do is very, very important. And you know, you get your yahoos that claim to be master this and that, and I've been doing this 20 years and they're full of shit. They don't know what they're talking about. And I just showing you here, oh, just put a seal in it and send it. Nah, we ain't gonna do that. We're gonna give the customer the option after we inspect it. This definitely is wore out. You can even spin this thing and feel it grabbing a little bit. It just feels chunky. Well, I'll let them know, hey, I can put a new seal in it, clean everything out, put it back together, put some fresh fluid, and you may get another 20, 30, 40,000 miles on it before it starts to get so bad it wobbles around. But right now, the way it is, it's going to make noise. And it's not worn correctly. It's abused.